Okay, I know I've gone on and on in this series about how I prefer to modernize old things rather than to classicify new things. I am actually a pretty nostalgic person, but I do not desire a large helping of nostalgia in my media. But even I have to give it up to Sonic Mania. As a direct continuation of Genesis-era Sonic the Hedgehog, it literally could not have been more perfect. I'll admit that there are some games that I don't think would work outside of their classic context. Games that I don't think can be modernized. And if you felt that way about Sonic, then Sonic Mania is a perfect demonstration of how I want those circumstances to be handled. It looks precisely how you remember Genesis Sonic looking. It sounds exactly how Genesis Sonic sounded. But then, when you actually look at the two side by side, holy moly is Sonic Mania leaps and bounds ahead of its predecessors. Every sprite gets, what, 5 times as many animation frames as they did on the Genesis? 10 times? I don't even know if I'm hyperbolizing there. The classic levels are not only perfectly chosen, but perfectly realized. I find it so fascinating that this game gives you the Sonic speed you want, which is a very specific kind of satisfaction in these 2D games compared to 3D, but even with that speed, the pace of the game remains reasonable. I feel that I'm given adequate time to live in and appreciate these worlds despite running through them so fast I can barely register the things I'm passing. Pace is so subjective to one's experience that you'll rarely see me compliment it from a pure game design perspective, but Sonic Mania is an instance where I'm okay with doing it. And for as much as I'm complimenting Sonic Mania's ability to perfect the concepts presented in Genesis Sonic, I haven't even touched on the fact yet that my favorite parts of this game is when it isn't playing with the Genesis levels at all. The brand new zones created for Sonic Mania, while not large in quantity, present some of the finest 2D Sonic gameplay in its history. Striking locations, consistently some of the best music in an already top-tier soundtrack, and where I believe the game's creativity shines the brightest. I have no bad words for Sonic Mania. There is no dark side to this game that I'm writing around for the sake of a positive show. I even find it adorable how the game so directly ties into Sonic Forces. I am filled with pure joy at the thought of this game, and it's hard for me to fathom anyone feeling any differently. This feels like another apt moment to appreciate the reality that we're not even in the top 100 yet, even if this game would be entirely deserving of a spot in it. I hope I'm not too sickeningly optimistic for you yet, because we're only going to be ramping up from here.